Ant, you want to start with the intro? Go. Yeah, as he drinks his drink bottle post recording.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Huddle Within, where we bring you within the huddle.
Thank
Today,
you.
we're joined by Nathan Campbell, Brent Wellesley, Michael Grimer, Daniel Rushy, and Anthony Caligari.
Yes, four of the biggest Liverpool nuffies I know. Mates as well.
That was a joke. You're not actually recording that.
Yeah,
he's recording it, mate.
Yes,
He's recording it.
That's going
That's
straight
class.
Welcome to the Huddle Within Podcast, where we go beyond the surface to uncover the real impact of sports on our lives, whether it's lessons of resilience, the passion that fuels us, or the stories that connect us all. This is where the game gets personal. I am Daniel, a regular sports fan just like you, and together we'll explore what sports truly means beyond the surface. So step right into the huddle and let's get into it.
So we're here today with four of my mates, also happen to all be Liverpool supporters, the team that I despise the most, already due to the rivalry that they have with Manchester United. But we're also adding the element that I actually live with a lot of Liverpool fans. Four of them on here, plenty more outside camera. Familiar face, Nathan, that's managed to get his face on the podcast again. And Anthony, who put out a legendary introduction. Brent from the nation's capital in Canberra, who's got chopped internet at the moment, and Mr. Michael Grimer as well, the probably least tenured Liverpool fan I know, but nevertheless a Liverpool fan. I guess we'll start with individually, whoever wants to start, I don't really care, how your sort of Liverpool support started.
When I was younger, I had some family that lived in the UK, and they come down for a visit one year, and my auntie actually got me a Liverpool jersey. That's how I started going for Liverpool. She actually asked me, she goes, what jersey do you want? She goes, Liverpool or Manchester United? And I was like, nah, no chance. Don't get me a United kit. And then I got a Liverpool one, and then started going for Liverpool ever since.
Did you know anything about United before you made that decision?
Yeah, just knew I didn't like them. There was just the instinct. Didn't like United. Went for Liverpool, and been a huge fan ever since.
Okay, cool.
I'll go.
You go.
Yeah, so my dad's actually born in a little town halfway between Liverpool and Manchester. And then so he supported Liverpool, whereas the rest of the family goes for Man U. And then so since he supported Liverpool, I supported Liverpool. And then it was quite a few rough years growing up against the United fans, but now we've got our lick back, so it's all right.
Love that one, Brent.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I started following Liverpool because of my older brother Joey. Shout out to Joe. He's diehard Liverpool fan too. Growing up, he always used to talk about Stevie G, and it just made me get interested in it. And in year 7, all the boys had a team to follow, and I'm like, you know what? My older brother goes for Liverpool, so I'm going to start going for them. They got cool colours, and that was just the start of something beautiful, I guess.
Shout out to Joe. I wish he was on the pod.
Love that. And yeah, similar to Michael, I was almost influenced by Daniel back in my young days. Didn't follow soccer or football, we call it. So yeah, there was a lot of at that time Liverpool was quite terrible, and it was always whispers in my ear to go for United. But I definitely got swayed in year 5 to follow the Reds, and there was a few years of just terrible football, but went on to Europe in year 6, got a Stevie G kit, and yeah, been a fan since.
Yeah, cool story, everyone. For me, United fan, could have been any kit I got for the first time, but it was my 10th birthday and happened to get a CR7 Ronaldo kit to be a United fan, and started well, but I've been very unlucky as a United fan. The only time I properly supported it was Fergie's last year as a United fan. The rest, obviously, being a kid, you see the scores, but you don't really watch it vividly. But then, since then, it's just been a shit show for us. So it's going to be interesting to see how the conversation will go. Obviously, you guys have won the league last season, so we're going to start with basically that. We had, obviously, Klopp leaving, and now Arne Slott's come in, and the team's hasn't knocked back at all. So I guess how you guys felt about winning the league, it's 20 times, which is painful for me to say. And yeah, you've tied the record of most Premier League titles as well with us.
I think I'll start with this one. To win the league was bittersweet, and we've had a lot of PTSD from years past, but it really looked like by December, January, we had it wrapped up, and I guess no one wanted to say it, but the whole time we knew we were going to win that league, and it felt good just to know by every passing game that we're closer and closer to hit the 20. So yeah, it was a good season. It was bittersweet because we know Klopp left and where the squad was going. He really did build it up, but yeah, Slot came in and you could just see his knowledge for the game. It really did develop something beautiful. And coming this season, I can't wait to see what he cooks up.
You had some interesting words about Slot when he came in, sort of different to Klopp. Quite controversial if you're talking. You've got 3 big, vivid Klopp fans here that do love it, but you had some stern words about Slot and how he probably changed the team as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think where I was going is I think the tenure for Klopp was coming to an end, and I think the change was needed. The teams looked like they always were playing on energy, and by the end of the year, you could see it was mentally draining, physically draining, and that's why there was always a drop off. So for me, just having Slot, which plays a different style of football, more ball dominant, not having to give 110% every single game, in a different way, that is, with the ball. And it seems like has worked dividends. And with the players that we have, seeing how Pep Guardiola has gone in the league, it just seems like the recipe for success. So I was, as much as I love Klopp, it was time for him to go, in my opinion. And Slot coming in, I think it's just been a revelation. And no one really thought that Arnie Slot was going to be the next Liverpool manager. There was links with Amarim, there was links with Xabi Alonso, but it looks like Liverpool got it right again.
Yeah, I mean, when Klopp was leaving, when I saw the news break, it was actually my birthday. I remember seeing it. I had family over. They all left. I pulled my phone out, get my Twitter notifications, and I see that Klopp's leaving, and I didn't know what to think. It was it was a bit of a surprise. Shook me a little bit, and I was a bit worried about what was happening with the team, what was going to happen with the team, and who was going to come in. And like Nathan said, we weren't expecting. No one was really expecting Arne Slot to be coming in, but he's come in and he had a big role, he had a big role to fill, and he done that. He done a terrific job. He brought the team together. He brought a different style of football. It wasn't completely different to what Klopp was doing, but it was a bit more of a controlled game style where it wasn't as they say as heavy metal as what Klopp was doing. But it was an enjoyable style of football. He was getting the best out of the players. There was a few players that probably suffered a little bit more from that style of play, where we were playing a little bit more defensive, being a little bit more composed with our attack, and potentially Trent was one of the people who suffered in that style of play, which is maybe something that contributed to him leaving the club. Like, you really think if Klopp was still there, I don't think Trent leaves. So it's something that could have contributed to that, and even other players. Nunes, someone that I really did like. I know there was a lot of controversy about him, but he was a Klopp signing, and if Klopp was still there, he would have probably still been in the picture. But Slot's come in now after being there for a season, and now he's making his signings, and he's made a few statement signings, which have been really interesting. I think they're going to be some really good stars as well. And I'd really like to see how this window finishes, because there's still a lot more in talks about what we do with a few more signings and how we finish this squad. But it looks like we've got a really solid foundation for this season.
Well, you've jumped into the next topic, and that's transfers. So obviously Slot, and you can make an argument, obviously non-Liverpool fans will always make the argument that Klopp's team was there and he pretty much had all the pieces together. And I think this year will be a massive challenge for them, not per se to be competitive, because we know that they're going to do that. But now with Slot's players coming in, which we're going to obviously talk about now, this is a chance to really see how Slot is as a coach and the recruitment and everything else involved. So Michael, talk to me about the new signings and how excited you are. You were telling me before you've never seen Liverpool spend like this. So yeah, give us a bit of a rundown on it.
Yeah, look, I'm definitely excited and happy about this transfer window. To compare it to, I guess, our previous years, this is something that I've never seen ever as a Liverpool supporter, and it's such a joy just to be able to, I guess, spend money but spend money in a good way, in a smart way, being able to get the right players for our club. It's just definitely fantastic. Like the with Slot coming in last season, he actually didn't really sign anyone besides Frederick Chiesa, and it just shows with this transfer window coming in with being able to just sign like Florian Wirtz and Hugo Ekitike. You got Frimpong and Milos Kerkez. It's good that we were able to spend money and still even be able to spend more money. Like we could potentially even get Isak in our squad. I've just never seen it before. I've never seen it in previous transfers. Even with like the transfer window, when we picked up Allison, we picked up Virgil van Dijk. Those players, they weren't, I'd say, like established in big clubs, as opposed to the signing of like Florian Wirtz. So yeah, it's definitely a change. It's good. I love it. I really hope we do get to keep, seeing more signings in our club.
Yeah, so that's very interesting with what Michael's been saying. I think transfers this window are gonna be excited. Like we've never seen Liverpool spend like this. But in saying that too, we've also haven't had sales going out like this either. Like since probably Coutinho, we haven't had the money coming in.
Mate,
So
thank God for the Coutinho money. It is funding my dreams.
So good.
At the bank of
Yeah, so
Coutinho's.
We've gone from
Right,
Ricky
so-
Lambert to possibly signing Isak, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, so the bank's full again. So I wonder how long this money is going to last us. But yeah, I think we'll likely see Isak hopefully in this window. Depends what Newcastle do.
But do you need Isak though? Like you look at Ekitike and how he's performing. Like he scored a goal in the Community
Goal
Shield.
and
He
assist,
scored a
goal
goal in
and
the first
assist.
5 minutes. Do you really? I know it's Isak. I know he's a gun. Do you really want to disrupt the form that he has at the moment? Like,
Well, I think
had this
Ekitike's
conversation.
just surprised everyone. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
besides a quick
definitely.
Twitter comp, I'd never seen him play, and he's just come in and he looks unreal. But obviously, I mean, it'd be interesting to see tactically what with Isak coming in, how that would work. Whether it would just be him up front or whether they would play off each other. I would hope that with the money spent on both, they would play off each other.
Here's my sort of thought. Is he? Can he play on the left wing?
Yeah,
Can you
Slot said he can
Yeah,
play.
he
He
can.
can play from the left. He can play down the middle. He can play as a two. He can play as a two in the middle as well. So there's a lot of he's versatile. He's got a lot of different options. And I think if Isak comes through, you'd see Ekitike play from the left. Isak plays to the middle, or even mix up the formation. Maybe when Salah's at AFCON, you see Isak and Ekitike through the middle. Szoboszlai on the right or Frimpong on the right, like as a sort of
And
more of a
there's
midfielder
more
role
games
than
than
a
ever
winger.
as well. Like there's going to be plenty of times to rotate the squad and keep it fresh. When like other teams, I mean, you saw Arsenal like with the injuries they had last year, those complete sort of fell apart towards the back end there.
Yeah, they had
And
Mourinho
if
playing up
we
front.
can,
Yeah.
and if we can just keep rotating, then everyone stays fit and fresh, and it's good to go.
And
I think
Ekitike's still very young as well. Like he's only 23 years old. He's still got a lot in the tank for him to. I mean, he might not even be a player for now. You might bring Izaki and get him sort of while he's in the position he's in now in top form, probably a top 3 striker in the world. You're not going to turn down Isak if you can get him. If he wants the club like he does, it's hard to turn him down. So back to what you were saying, Dan. I think you'd definitely sign Isak if he wants you. You can't say no. And I think he's really pushing hard to make that transfer happen. Hopefully Newcastle stop fumbling their transfers to get a striker in because it's just going round and round. Now they can't even get Wissa in. And unless that happens, we're probably not going to get Isak. But if Isak doesn't want to play for Newcastle, I don't know what they want to. I don't know what they're going to do because you're going to play your best player, the most valuable player in your team, refusing to play. His value's only going to start to drop. And yeah, it's a World Cup year, but he's Sweden's best player. I don't think it's going to matter if he plays or not. He's getting picked regardless.
I don't think Newcastle's worries are financials though, given that they have literally the Sheikh of Saudi Arabia working for them. Like if they're going to lose 20 mil on Isak, I don't think they're going to care. Their priority is to bring in 2 strikers. They've lost Callum Wilson as well. I think they want to bring in 2 solid strikers. And if you look at the market right now, realistically, besides, as you said, Wissa, who else are they going to bring in to even give half the sort of load that Isak has done.
Well,
Well, the
that's
Cisco
other
was the
thing is
one.
they're in
Cisco
some
was the one, man.
financial
Yeah,
fair play sort
definitely.
of they're pretty tight on financial fair play too. So they actually probably need to get rid of some players to get players in too. So,
Yeah, but they won't do it unless they get another striker
Yeah.
in. And Sesko, like Nathan said, Sesko was probably the one that they could have got. That fell out to us, thankfully for us. But I don't know whether Isak actually said that he announced the transfer after they bought Ekitike or before. We're never going to know internally that. But what struck me was when Isak announced it literally after Ekitike signed. And for you guys, that might be a good thing. But for Newcastle, it would have been good for them to probably know about that after. That way, Liverpool could have just went for Isak and they could have got that replacement.
the problem is Newcastle actually. I mean, Isak told. Apparently, the reports say Isak actually told Newcastle last season that was his last year and he was going to leave. And it's sort of like he's given them the heads up. He told them well in advance, and they haven't been able to pull off a transfer. So now he's sort of suffering because it's at Isak's expense because Newcastle can't pull off a signing. So
Well, that's it.
the
And
other issue.
apparently they promised him that they'd bolster the squad and improve the squad, and then there just hasn't been much of that this season. So then that's half the reason why he wants out as well.
They did get Alanga in, to be fair. They were looking
Okay,
at bringing Alanga in. They
United
picked up the
reject.
winger. He was good at Nottingham Forest. He had a great season. He was one of the top assists in the season. He gave Chris Wood most of his goals. Imagine that with Isak, how many more goals they would have scored. So I think that Alanga
To be
obviously...
fair, he leaves and Chris Wood scores too, so it couldn't be that important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but
He
if
is.
you're a
60
team
mil
that's
was a
going
lot
to
for
be
him,
a
but-
Champions, exactly right. But if you're a Champions League club, you need better signings. Let's be
Yeah,
real.
definitely.
Like Alanga's good. Don't get me wrong, but what else have they done? Their defense is still shambles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a coming to Liverpool and staying at Newcastle. You know you're going to be fighting on all fronts at Liverpool. Newcastle, you'll be lucky to be top four, and that's just the reality. Newcastle, they just got to know their place. The man wants to go. He's got to go.
Yeah, I guess.
That's
But I don't really
simple
like... It's not... The only thing I can say is that obviously it wasn't a club youth product from there. Like, he obviously was using Newcastle as a stepping stone to play for a big club, but just don't really like the way he's gone about it. And I think Newcastle holding firm there is good. Ultimately, if they don't want to sign him, he has to end up playing anyway, because it's like you said, Brent, it's a World Cup year, and he still needs to get his value up as well. If he misses a whole year of football, again, I don't think Newcastle's priority is to make money off him. I know the financial fair play is there, but if there's no striker coming in, they're not going to get rid of Isak, I think. I think they'll keep him there. They'll figure out a way for him to play, and albeit football moves quickly. If he just scores a bunch of goals and stays one more year, I'm sure that Newcastle fans will turn around and appreciate him for this season there. So yeah,
I think the relationship's done. The weekend Newcastle fans were chanting, saying that he's a greedy bastard or something. So I really can't see him playing another game for Newcastle. Like the relationship's ruined. But I can't see that getting repaired between the teammates, the clubs, the fans. I think Newcastle really just have to cut their losses if they have to pay Anthony Gordon as a striker to get through the season till the next window. That's what they're going to have to do, because Isak's not playing another game for him.
We should just make a winner this weekend gets Isak.
you guys got him this week. Yeah,
it's gonna be a very
Isak Cup.
hostile. It's gonna be a very hostile game this weekend.
Yeah.
But maybe that's another reason why maybe they want to wait till they verse us before they sell him, so he can't even play for us. So there could be a few reasons. I don't think that's one of them, but
I
could be in
think
the
that
back
is
of
one
the
of
mind
them,
too.
to be honest. I think that's a big one. And you were saying Anthony Gordon, but the hypocrisy with Newcastle, he literally done the same thing, saying to Everton, I'm not going to play if I don't go to Newcastle. And then Isak's doing the same, and then they're vilifying him. So it's just kind of bittersweet. And the thing is that annoys me is, yes, you don't like the way he's going about it, but no one was saying that when Gorokres said, I'm going to break up with my girlfriend and I'm going to Arsenal. I don't care. But because it's Isak, everyone's saying, "Oh, Liverpool, look what they're doing." I don't know. Maybe it's just me being a biased
The
fan.
thing,
you know.
like he told them last season that it was the end. Like, and he played last season. He did everything he could for them, but they still don't want to let him go. Like, it's how much more can he do now?
yeah.
I just think they
it's up
just
to-
both need to split ways.
Yeah,
Well, Newcastle
100%.
need to get strikers in
It's
before
true.
they do that. And I
It's
think
Well,
a-
that's the
it's a
thing.
toxic-
They're only leveraged. They can't sell him before they get strikers in, even
Exactly.
if he's not going to play.
I'm not looking at it as a
Like-
fan, because quite frankly, I couldn't give a shit whether he stays or goes, because I'm not a Newcastle fan. Obviously, Liverpool will improve, but they're already good enough to begin with. But if I'm looking at it as a club of Newcastle and seeing where they want to be, and since the buyout, their goal's been clear. They want to be consistent Champions League side. You can't lose this side without replacing strikers. And I would think in a perfect world, they would want him to go and have 2 strikers there, and it would be all easy and done, and they wouldn't have this backlash. They wouldn't have to deal with an unsettled or unraveled player. But at this present moment, unless they're given 150 with a week to go, $1 million to buy him, Liverpool, I don't see him leaving because of that sheer principle and fact. And I see that if this was a club like Brentford, if this was a club that wasn't Newcastle with their sort of finances and their owners, I think this deal gets done 2 weeks ago. 150 million or even 110, they're taking it to the bank and laughing. Newcastle don't want to be a selling club. They want to play Champions League football, and they need the strikers. So we'll have to wait and see.
I still think he'll join before the end of the season. I think it's a dragged out process, but I still think he'll join.
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
And I also don't think we stop at Isak either. I think there's at least 2 more signings we make. I think Mark Gay is really high up on the list of potential signings in Crystal Palace. Either sell him for 40 million this window, or he's coming for free next season. So if I'm Crystal Palace, I'd at least rather get something now than losing for free. We've got Ben Doak going out for 25 million. I think it was 25 million pounds.
Yeah, to Bournemouth.
Going to Bournemouth. That's massive because I think we signed him for 300 or 600,000 in like 3 seasons ago. So that's a massive profit there. And do we potentially get a backup winger? I would like to see us either get someone that can play from the left or the right, a backup winger. I've seen us linked to Fofana, but with Chiesa staying now, I think that really helps. It looks like he's going to stay. I think he's a good addition. He can play pretty much anywhere across those front 3. And I know I'm a massive fan of him. Brent's a massive fan of him too. And when he scored that goal on the weekend, that was
I was chucking a knee slide on the carpet with him.
Let's track back quickly to Mark Gay. The only thing I'll say is that Crystal Palace are in the Conference League now. They were in the Europa League. Obviously, the financial restrictions and all that business got them down to Conference League. And the only argument I could keep for Crystal Palace not selling him is the opportunity to win that Conference League trophy. And they're a big player in that, believe it or not. I know the Premier League teams that get in there, they always make deep runs. So it's going to be a question as to whether they keep him for the fact that they want to push and win that Conference League, and then Gay can go out as a happy captain with a European trophy and leave to Liverpool with open arms, or they sell him now and they be done with. They've got obviously Eze there too, that's also wanting to make a move to Tottenham. So that's the only reason I can see Gay staying, is for that potential opportunity to win a trophy. And I'm pretty sure they'll probably make that 40 million they'll sell him for winning that title anyway, getting qualified into, I think it's Europa League. I'm pretty sure if they win the Conference League anyway. So something to consider there. I
think it'll happen either way. It seems like he wants the Liverpool to join us and join the project, but it's just, I think we'll either buy him this year or he'll come on a free next year.
And either way, I think either way works for us now that we've got the Regen Maldini signing. I think the defensive line's looking good now. I was a bit worried once we got rid of Quansah. We had no depth. Gomez was injured. Kanate's injury record's not the best. Virgil's getting older. We needed that depth. Signing him, Leone worked out well. And if we can get Mark Gay in next season, I think that really bolsters the back line. There's a bit of uncertainty what Kanate is going to do. I really, really hope he stays. He's one of my favourite players, and I think he's probably he definitely is a top 5 centre back in the Premier League. And he needs to sign that contract. Give me five centre backs that are better than Kanate.
Top 5 in the world, and
5 in the world of Premier League.
Give me 5 better centre backs than Kanate in the Premier League.
Okay, Virgil's one, and he's in your team. Luckily, Ruben Diaz is another.
That's debatable. He can't even get a game every week.
Okay. Anyway, all right. We'll go to even, I would say, and arguably saying William Saliba and both Gabriel are better than him. Best defense in the league. So that's already been done. Gabriel scores more headers. Gabriel scores more headers as well. I know it's a defensive game, but he's very solid. That back two is very stable, and they're the best defense in the league. We versed them just now, 1-0. They kept that league, so them two are better. I would make an argument, and you guys can probably be against it, but I can make an argument that Christian Romero is better than him. He's won a World Cup. He's also
no way.
Then Kanate, or if not, and then that's already 4. So, and then I would give another City centre back there to wipe that off. And even you could even say Gay is better than him. That's why they're probably going for him at the moment. So that's probably another. And who else? Who else do you want me to give you, Anth?
I thought you were going to say the butcher then, mate, and I was about to hang up.
I honestly think, call me biased, but I think Kanate is probably he's probably one under Saliba. But you got Virgil, you got Saliba. Look, you can probably put one or two other people there, but Kanate has got to be for me top 5. He last year he put together a really consistent season. I know he's had his injury problems. Last year was terrific. And he had to play that role where he defends the right side as well as the center. We don't play with the 5 in the back like some other clubs, which makes it a bit easier when you're a defender. But we play with the 4 in the back with attacking fullbacks. He's got a lot of work to do, and he's done terrific. And we've won the season with him being our centre back with Virgil van Dijk. I don't care what you say. If Arsenal's got the best defense, Arsenal's not winning the league. Liverpool are. So I take him over Gabriel any day.
I'll take a World Cup winner. I'll take someone that's won a treble. I'll take the best 2 defenders in the league. I'll take Virgil for you as well. And I'll also take someone that's starting for England in Margay as well. That is better. And there's probably a lot more that I can't remember, but he is definitely top 10. I'll give you that. And I'm not going to put any United defenders on there because I'm not going to try to be biased at all.
I'm glad you're not that deluded.
Yeah, and I'll mention your Italian sort of centre back that you signed as well. Need not I remind you the last Italian wonder kid you guys signed and what he was supposed to be? Can you take a guess who it was?
Zakalani, wasn't it?
No, Fabio Barini. He's a striker.
Oh, what do you mean?
The last time I heard hype of that, it didn't turn out well. So
Barini, Balotelli, and Ricky Lambert strike force fed families, mate.
Yeah, well, didn't at all. But
look, the one thing that I'll tell you is there was a lot of Italian clubs after Leone, and I really back the way that Liverpool scout, especially younger players. We're willing to pay what we paid for someone that's got very little games. We know there's a lot of potential there, and we pounced on that. We sold in the project, and now he's here. I think he's like 19. We've got a lot of I think he's got a lot of potential. It's actually 18, sorry. But he's got a lot of potential, and I think he'll be a superstar in the next few years to come.
6'5's quick. He is a Virgil regen, really. That's what they're hoping. Obviously, there's a long way to go, but he's got the stature, if you've seen him.
He's got potential.
So, mate, let's hope he hits.
We're gonna move on.
I still think Mark A comes either this season or next season, and I reckon another forward, Isak, hopefully, and another forward as well, because we got to replace what's gone out. And we're still lacking. We're still short some players. It looks like Tsimikas is going to go because we've already got Robertson and now Kirkes in that left back position. I think it's a bit overcrowded to have 3 of them there. So I think Tsimikas goes, and we bring some more firepower in.
Just wanted to take a moment to thank you guys for tuning into another episode of the Huddle Within podcast. If you do enjoy episodes like this, or this episode specifically, be sure to leave a comment and a 5-star review wherever you do get your podcasts. It'd be also great if you could like and subscribe wherever you do get your podcasts, so we can continue to show this out to people that see sports exactly the way that you do. But without further ado, let's get straight back into it.
We did mention at the start, Anthony did, and I want to hear Michael's take on it because he's awfully quiet in the background listening to all these unbelievable takes. It's Trent. And obviously, he's now Trent 12. I kind of butchered that, but that's how bad the nickname is for me to botch that. You can see the frustration on everyone's face when I bring up that name. He's obviously left on a free. He's gone to Real Madrid. I didn't know how he went on his first game. I'm sure you guys had tabs on it, if he's played yet, if he's playing tomorrow, or even in pre-season. But yeah, Michael, starting with you, just how you feel about the sort of Trent departure.
He actually did leave with some money. It was about, I think it was 10,000 euro, 10 million euros, it was 8.5 million pounds. So we did get a bit of cash from him. But as a Liverpool fan, just seeing that introduction at Real Madrid and him speaking in Spanish, and he spoke it well. I'll give him that. He did speak it well. It hurt. It really did hurt because he lived and breathed Liverpool. He was our vice captain. He was meant to take the captain role from Virgil van Dijk when Virgil van Dijk does decide to retire. But he decided he wanted more. He wanted to win the Ballon d'Or at Real Madrid. He didn't believe that he could win it at Liverpool. and
He's not
he
winning it
does-
there.
He isn't.
Nah,
To be honest, he isn't.
He's not gonna win. He's not gonna
He's
win
not gonna
nothing
win
there.
it anyway.
I think he made the biggest mistake of his career leaving Liverpool. He was a boy. It was his boyhood club. He was a Scouser. He was in line to become the captain of Liverpool, and he's made a big mistake. Look, I love Trent. I still, even though he's done us really dirty, I'm not going to talk too much rubbish about him, because I did like him. I liked everything he'd done at Liverpool, and I think he's a terrific talent. I don't think many players can cross a ball like he can, or even strike a ball like he can. But yeah, I really don't agree with what he's done. I mean, look, all the best for him, but I think he's going to get absolutely torn apart by the Spanish media, because I know Liverpool fans backed him.
Yeah.
I backed him all the time, even when he done some terrible defending, and he was sort of
It's great that you finally admitted it. It's great for you to finally admit
Oh,
it.
it's actually, I feel free
Nah,
not
look-
having to defend
Me
his
too.
defending. It's it's a fantastic feeling.
Yeah.
Mate,
And
it
that's
honestly,
what I was saying. That's what I was saying with Kanate. Kanate had to defend Trent's position and his own position, and he done such a good job at doing that. But look, as I think that his attackive qualities did make up for some of his defensive woes. I don't think he was terrible defensively, but I think he really lacked him on the back post was no good, and he wasn't as fast as what we needed. Where at least we've got some pace with Frimpong, and I really like Connor Bradley and what he brings. I think he's an all-round great fullback. So I'm excited to see how them two go. But yeah, we'll see what happens with Trent, but I don't think he's made the right choice. Yeah,
I genuinely think he's defending. It wasn't when you look at it and you criticize it, it wasn't even the form of him getting sort of ripped and rinsed by the wingers. It was just more of his effort that was just atrocious at the back post, not tracking runs and whatnot. Like, you look at the Champions League final when Vinny scored, it's just like stuff like that you think, and you question whether he really wants to defend and he has that effort to defend. And that's, I think, where the criticism comes from, especially from the outside looking in. And I see why you guys want to defend it when he's obviously one of the best with the ball and attacking. And as you mentioned, Anthony, his strike, his crossing is a phenomenal. But then when you just see the lack of effort on the defensive side, it just kind of reminds me of like a basketball player that just wants to attack. When your job is to defend just as much as attack, and if not more, because realistically, yes, the modern fullback is there to attack and whatnot, but primarily you are still a right back, and that's a defender. So that's kind of where the criticism comes from me.
I think that's also what contributed to his move as well. Real Madrid play a style where he's got a more advanced role. He doesn't have to defend as much. They're playing with a 5 in the back, so he's got that flexibility where he can push further forward. Alonso's game style suits him a little bit more, and that would have been a big factor in that too. And like I said, with Slot leaving, it changed the way that we attacked with our fullbacks, and it probably didn't suit him as much. Like last year, his numbers weren't as good as previous seasons, and maybe he thought that was going to be a bit of a decline on him, so he wanted to get out to sort of better himself. But look, I think it was a selfish move. Not obviously he just wanted to. I mean, he wants what's best for his career, and I think at the end of the day, all players are going to want to do that. But yeah, that's my thoughts on what's.
I'll go back to the Spanish, and for someone that is, as you all know, learning Spanish at the moment, he's 100% had the Duolingo whipped up for a good year to get those words out, because especially being a Scouser where there's probably no Spanish involved in there, he's had to learn, and he must have planned this for a long time. So I think that's what frustrates people. And I look at Nathan's reaction, and I think he's got a lot to say about this.
There is a lot to say, I'll be honest, but the best thing that I think the Liverpool did was they just signed Frimpong straight away and just said, stuff you. You know what I mean? Because, you know, he was someone that was at the club since he was, 5 years old. And you know how much it means to even fetch a transfer fee and to leave for 10 mil for a player that's probably worth on the market minimum 60, 80 mil. It's almost like a spit in the club's face. And I know he wants to leave, and
I think in his current market, he'd be going for like 80 to 100 mil with some of the prices some other players are going. His age,
A little
his
older,
qualities,
though.
I think if he was like on a 5-year, if he had like a 5-year contract, he would be going for 100 mil pretty easily, I reckon, in his current market.
But
Not a right back.
But to say that, like, you can't discredit going into Real Madrid. They're pretty much the biggest club in the world. Let's be real. They win Champions League, and they're competing with the league every year. So you can see why he's done it. But even in saying that, I don't think it's as bad in the end. If you take away the transfer fee, the squad is better off not having Trent running out of the defense, not defending. You know what I mean? The way Klopp plays, they want to be controlled through the back, play into the middle. You'll rather lose the middle in a forward positions or through your midfield than your right back out of position over the top. And how many times did you see you just bang it right over the top and they're in? So, this season, having Klopp's players in, even Frimpong is someone who can't defend. Apparently, he can't defend. He's back there. He's got the willingness to defend. You've seen.
That's what I was saying before. Like, it's like, that's what I found bad about Trent's defending. Is like, I look at Frimpong and I don't see a defender that is an unbelievable 1v1 defender. But I can safely say from looking at him in Bayer Leverkusen, is that bloke is going to put 110% effort in defending.
He's got
and
the
going
work
back.
rate.
And that's something that I would credit rather than someone that just doesn't put effort on defense. And I think for someone that's going to be signed there, that's what he's probably going to do. He's not going to be there thinking that he's the boyhood player, have a bit of an ego on him. He's going to want to work hard. And I think you're right, Nathan. I think he'll be a really good replacement to have him. And he's a star player as well. Let's not forget.
And with that too, like I think like once a player ran past Trent, there was no chance he was catching him. What's really good about Frimpong is someone gets past him, he's rapid. He'll catch them, and it happened in the preseason games. Like someone got past him, but he would run, he'd work his ass off, get back, win the ball, and that's all you can ask. And with having the pace, it makes it a lot easier to push forward. If a long ball comes through, he can get back there before it's too dangerous, which is good too.
And I don't know Frimpong personally, but he just looks like such a cool guy. All vibes. You see him
he
posting
really
everything.
brings-
He's
he
just
really
always
brings-
around dancing. Like, you
It's
need
'cause he's
players
Dutch.
like
I'm
that.
loving the vibes. It's good. It's definitely
And no
good.
joke, just him and
Yeah.
Idru. You'd love to be sitting next to those guys in the change
Yeah,
room. Honestly.
100%.
Yeah.
Imagine like being in a room with them two blokes, and even Ekatike looks real fun as well. Like,
Yeah, he does.
I've seen videos of Frimpong and Ekatike dancing with each other and stuff like that. And even when Frimpong scored that goal in the Community Shield, and then Kanate goes dancing with him in the celebration, I was cracking up watching that.
Yeah, the French connection
that was
is
too
gone
good.
big there.
It's good.
I will say, and just to wrap off with Trent, again, from a neutral perspective, in a sense that obviously no attachment to Trent, maybe a bit more sort of on the softer side because him being a Liverpool player, I can respect the idea of him making a move and going to have a new challenge. Obviously, being a boyhood Scouser for his whole life, I can respect the opportunity to embrace the challenge and move to another country in a different club, to one of the biggest clubs, if not the biggest club in the world. The only thing that I can retort that is the way he moved was quite sudden, and I think just lacked a bit of the respect that I think Liverpool have given to him, in a sense that they've pretty much developed him his whole life. And obviously money is always going to be the thing here, but I just really think that a transfer fee, a respectable transfer fee for all the effort and time and sort of opportunity that Liverpool gave this player should have been returned with at least a transfer fee or at least something back. Not when I mean something, more than obviously the 8 million that he got.
Yeah, because
But
that's
again,
peanuts.
Yeah, and it's just
And
a
the thing-
slap in the face, I think.
To add to that, I forgot to mention, but you've got Salah and Van Dijk, your other big players, coming out saying, I love the club, I want to stay at the club for the whole year. And Trent is mute for the whole year, doesn't say anything the whole year. Like, dude, if you just want to leave, just say you want to leave. Don't hold on. Everyone's
Yeah,
pull on everyone's heartstrings.
he stringed everyone
String everyone
along, and he
along.
really he
Deflect
definitely
from
got
all the
me.
criticism, and at the end gets injured and doesn't play, and then
Like,
he leaves.
his
Like, come on,
excuse-
man.
His excuse was they're gonna
When
the
he
league.
scored that goal, I can't remember who he scored against, and he took his top off and he celebrated. I'm like, nah, he's staying,
I thought so
and then
too.
it was
Yeah.
false hope. I think that's what hurt the most, because I was so convinced he was going to stay, and then
After
that,
that,
and then
yeah.
he leaves.
Yeah.
That's what hurt the most. If he just said like from the start that, oh look, I'm probably going to leave at the end of the season, it would have hurt a lot less.
He celebrated with so much passion after that goal. It
almost felt like it
Strange.
was going to happen. Yeah,
And
like
that's why
I
he
just
threw the top off, because he was gone. If
yeah
he wanted to kiss the badge, it showed he's staying. That was it. That was the line,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
yeah
it could have been. It could have been. We will never know. But again, he mentioned that he wanted to obviously focus on the Premier League title. But I think internally the club knew. So don't think the outside noise would have really affected their title run, if I'm honest. And the way he sort of was towards the season, he's a little kind of bust up and complaining with Slot like round 4 when he got pinned off. And then even just some of the stuff that obviously Virgil was looking at him, a few defensive mistakes and whatnot. You knew that he sort of was going to leave and there was a talk there, but it just hurts when it comes at that time. And it's just like you guys were left to dust in the end. But again, guys have signed so many good players, as we mentioned, and it's looking exciting. So we'll go straight into what I'm talking about. It's a nice, clear segue, and that's obviously the start of the Premier League season. At the time of this recording, round 1 is pretty much concluded, and I guess we're all excited for the Premier League to come. August is always a good time to lock back in and get into the Prem. And for United fans like myself, it's around the February time where we just stop watching because the team is probably at the dumps and the media has full grilled them, and we probably had a bad January transfer. But all jokes aside, are you guys excited for this season? How are you guys feeling with the new signings? You're obviously excited. Obviously, back-to-back is probably on your minds and more confident than ever that you guys will do that now. But I guess if you're not going to go back-to-back, or if you do, who do you think is the one team that will sort of give you the most trouble, that you guys all think it could all be different? And I guess about Liverpool itself, what are you looking forward to for this season?
Yeah, I mean, this new season is super excited. I think we've got every chance to run it back. Look, Arsenal, everyone knows they were lacking a striker. They've made the signing of Gyökeres. We'll see what he looks like in the Prem. I'm not going to judge him off one game because that's a bit ridiculous to say he's going to be no good after one game. So we'll see how that rides out. But even Zubimendi, I think, is a great signing too.
He was supposed to come to you guys last year, right?
Yeah, he was meant to, but then
he
he wanted to stay. He wanted to stay in the Hills.
Won the Spanish
Real
League.
Sociedad, yeah.
Hey, the Basque food's pretty good. I was there. It's a pretty decent reason for him to stay.
Not the beach.
But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is a good signing. It is a good signing for them. We'll see. Look, I think they're not done either. I've seen a few links about them trying to get another winger. I've seen Rodrigo come up a couple of times too, so we'll see what happens there. Chelsea, I think, is a bit of a funny one. Like sometimes they're in some hot form, and especially when they beat PSG, like you go, oh, like can they do it? But then they come and they draw this weekend against Crystal Palace.
Go. Interrupt this guy with your Chelsea take. Come on.
They're just not that good. They're so overrated. I don't know. They're so overrated. Like, yeah, they've got a deep squad, yes, but you keep recycling young, good upcoming players. Get rid of the good upcoming players you got, and then get new ones. Like,
yeah, I don't know why players
understand.
keep signing.
It's a new team every week, honestly.
Was a good signing for them. We'll see what happened, what he turns out to be.
They should have lost, to be fair. They really should have.
That free kick should have counted.
Yeah. Oh, Brent's
the class, man.
That rule's ridiculous. I don't know why they start. The PGMOL always do this. They go hard on something stupid at the start of the season and they forget about it. Like I've been off topic, but I don't know how that was not a handball against Bournemouth when that should have literally been a straight red for denial of a goal scoring opportunity. He literally swiped, like he tried everything he could to touch that ball. That I lost my mind when that happened. Like it's this refereeing. That's probably a whole nother podcast.
Is that when it was 2-2? Is that when it was all on the line 2-2 or what?
No, this was right at the start. In the first 15 minutes, it was 0-0, and he swiped. But we could do a whole
Senensi or whatever his name is.
Yeah, and we could do a whole episode on refereeing. So I'm not going to talk about that. But then the other one that
I'm just going to drop my plug on the referee call that I've got. You know,
so
you guys take a look at that if you want.
What was that, Nate?
Weren't you a ref in the day?
I was back in the day, and I look, I shouldn't give him too much shit because I know what a shit job is in our heart, but I mean, some of this stuff's ridiculous, especially with the technology they've got. But the other one that I think could be in hot form this year as well is Manchester City with Haaland up top. You've got a really good striker that can finish chances. I think last season they were very, very underwhelming, but they made some really good signings.
How good is Reinders? Oh my days!
What a player!
What a player,
dude!
Oh man, yeah.
Well, that's easy. They have to sorted out their leggy midfield with Gundogan, bringing in Reinders now. They look sort of just more energetic in that midfield, whereas they were just losing in transition every game.
Oh.
Yeah, I think KDB last season, like as good as he was in the past, I think last season he was a bit of a liability. He really was not the player that he once was last season. I think he let them down. Without Rodri, I have always said Rodri is the most important player in that team. Without having a solid six, it is very hard to control games. So I think he's the most crucial player. With him missing a few games, I think he's missing till September. I think it was. That's going to be hopefully City drop some points until he gets back. But I think they're going to be right up there in the title race again this year.
I think it's just
there's-
those three. I think it's City,
Yeah.
Arsenal, and Liverpool.
The scary
Yeah.
thing with City is they're linked to Donnarumma, they're linked with Rodrigo. If you get those two, then it's going to go down to the wire. They're
Yeah,
nuts
definitely.
players. Like you could see Edison who's gone out. Savinho is basically similar player to Doku. So, in my opinion, so if you just get a Rodrigo who can play through the middle, scores goals in big games, can play on the wing. It's a big signing.
If City somehow sign Rodrigo, that would be very scary. If they get him, you get Mamouche on the right, you get Haaland down the middle and Rodrigo down the left. Say
We're not talking about Oscar Bob either. Like he had a broken leg. He's come out and he just looked unreal that first game, and he's almost a new signing for them as well because he's not going to drop his spot this week. I think he might have a chance to be a starter for a few more rounds as well. So
that's it. And then how they've got Foden as well. Like he'll eventually find some form and break back into that team.
And then you also got the signing of Cherki as well, who he looks to be really good too.
Transfer bargain, maybe.
Yeah, a real wild card there. I think City, when you have Pep as a coach and you have City sort of, they've done like 2 or 3 rebuilds in this sort of Pep era. This is probably one more that I think he's going to go through. I definitely think that they'll be up there as well. And let's not forget, they do have a bona fide 20 goals per game striker in Erling Haaland. And with Reinders coming in, injecting there. And Kevin De Bruyne, obviously, probably the greatest midfielder. You can argue he's one of the greatest midfielders of all time. He misses at least 5 or 10 games a season. And if you add in a full 38-game Reinders, if he's hopefully, knock on wood, and it doesn't seem as though he has any injury problems in his early stages of career, plays a full season, then you're getting probably the similar output that KDB would have got in 20 games. And that's not me saying that he's better than KDB by any means, but a 38-game Reinders, if he's performing like the first game, and let's not jump too early to first games, but I've seen him obviously in AC Milan and in Netherlands, he's done similar output. If he's able to do that for a whole season, in contrast to Kevin De Bruyne's probably 28 to 30 games output, then you're getting a pretty similar sort of return on your midfield, especially in that creative section.
Yeah. And I think like last year, obviously City had their slump, but they had won 4 Premier Leagues in a row. Like they were at the very top. They were bound to sort of have that form slump eventually. And I reckon that would have just lit a fire under Pep. And, all the talk is Arsenal finally getting their striker, Liverpool making all their signings. City quietly rebuild their midfield, went under the radar, and then now I reckon they're going to come out swinging.
And don't forget they also spent like 200 million euros in the January window as well. They signed Nico Gonzalez, who we haven't really seen anything from. Mamouche, and I think there was someone else too. So they've got
Uzbekistani centre back, Koshmagov or something. Can't get his name right.
or something, yeah.
Yeah,
and that Reece bloke as well.
They've got some fresh faces. So they are probably my number one contender to fight us off the perch. So we'll see what happens. I think we can take it right to them, but I think it's gonna be a lot tighter than what it was last season. I think everyone's improved, especially the big teams. And then even the bottom teams like United down there made some big signings this season as well. So we'll see what happens, but I don't think it was enough to get them into the top 6.
Well, let's talk about us, because I was going to go to that next. So how do you think we're going to go? I've obviously got my things. I'll let you guys go to the floor. I think look, you and Tottenham were in the sort of same situation last year. I think Tottenham are going to do much better than you are this season. I think they've made some good signings. They've looked impressive. I do think you guys are going to have a as bad as a season as you did last season. I mean, if you did have a season like that again, you'd probably get relegated. So I think that's near impossible. But I don't see you challenging top 4. Maybe you might try challenge top 6. But you could prove me wrong. I don't study United. I don't watch them as much as I watch us. But
I think United are just going to have the same issues that you had last year. I think you'll catch some better teams off when they're attacking you, and especially with injecting Mbeumo's pace and stuff in there in transition. I reckon you'll score a lot of goals. But as soon as you play like a Burnley and are trying to break down a low block, I just don't see you guys getting past.
That's been our problem for 5 to 10
I think it's
years.
just going to be the same thing.
Issue.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
The defense is a bit of a worry. But,
what do you think
I mean,
improves it?
you've made good signings. The attack's a lot better than what it was.
Yeah, we
But I think
much better
you've
goals
made
last
some
year.
signings up top, but you've sort of neglected the rest of the team. I think that's my worry. I think your midfield isn't really balanced. I don't think you can be playing a midfield, like if you're playing a 5 in the back and you have a midfield two of Casemiro and Bruno, I don't think that works well. I think Bruno needs to play a bit more advanced. And then you need, I think Casemiro's past his days. He doesn't have the legs to be holding that role that he does in the midfield either. So it's a bit of a, I think the midfield for me, that middle two is a bit of a tricky situation that you guys haven't improved on.
What I will say is that last year we only scored 44 goals. So for a Premier League team that's supposed to be at least in the top 6, you'd like to think, obviously I'm not thinking too high, that's atrocious. And I think we needed to upgrade there, and we made the right upgrades. We brought in 2 Premier League proven players, and I can't remember the last time we signed a Premier League proven player since probably the Fergie days, when we were picking up players like Ashley Young, and in back even further when we got players like Eric Cantona and Wayne Rooney coming from Premier League teams. They've in that first game, I'm not going to jump into conclusions, but what I saw from Cunha is something that I haven't seen in 2-3 years by a player, just someone that actually runs through the middle and tries to actually put pressure on the middle of the ground. It was quite refreshing to see, and I guess it was early stages, but having an extra 2 attacking players that I said Premier League proven, and then adding a wild card in Šeško, we're definitely going to score goals. And I think our defense gets a lot of criticism, but I don't think it's as bad as what people say. If you look at last year, most of our goals have come from Onana mistakes. And if you look at the team now, we're not actually playing Onana. As Ruben just said after the press conference against Arsenal, he said he wasn't dropping Onana, he's elevating Tom Heaton and Benadia. And
I mean, that didn't help. That didn't help when he flapped and hit it into his own net last night.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a thing on that. But I think deep down, he does want a keeper. And I think if we upgrade in that position, whether Benadia decides to become a revelation, obviously not a good start in this game, but I can make a case that push on William Saliba was stronger than the one that they gave to Margui, and they didn't call disallowed goals. So, and they called one for the free kick. But again, that's probably me just complaining about refs. Still, I think he should have got to that. If he can do better than what Onana's done, I think the defense is not as bad as it was. We got Lenny Yoro, who had a debut season last year, and he's only 19 years old, and he's got the potential to be a very strong player as well. And he had a really good game yesterday. And we also have Heaven, who's young as well. De Ligt, who, if he plays a full sort of 38 games and doesn't get injuries, is quite solid. We forget that at a time he was unbelievable at Ajax. He had a few bad stints in top clubs, but I think if he gets to the form that he was expected, then he's solid too. So I don't think our defense is too bad. I can see what you're saying about the midfield, but when you talk about the low block bread and you talk about how we could struggle against teams like Burnley, I think, and I disagree with you and Ant on our midfield, I think having Bruno Fernandes as the 8 probably works better for games like that, where we can have someone that can hopefully break the lines from that deep position. And then it allows our attackers in Cunha and Mbeumo to sort of lead the line up front. And they're very creative too. Like we saw them in this game running at players, but Cunha is also a very creative attacking player too. And let's not forget about that. But again, my goal is hopefully we finish 5th. That gives us Champions League football. It's going to be really hard for us to get there. And I think that there is a lot of improvements we still need to make, but definitely some good early signs. And I still think we'll do better than Tottenham. You forget that we're not going to be playing Champions League football this year. So we're going to have an extra midweek sort of break as well. So that's probably it for my take on United. And I'll leave the floor to you guys. And
can't be worse than last season though, right?
Nah, well, that we're not talking about that. So I already have my sort of rant. You can check out that as well, the turmoil of Manchester United, which I'll plug into this as well. But yeah, I think we'll definitely improve. Maybe I'm more excited and optimistic than normal being a United fan, but just from what I saw yesterday, we were the better team. So
Dan, who is what's your starting 11? If you were in charge, what would your lineup be? If with a fully fit squad, how would you line up?
I'd love to get a new keeper, but we'd have to stick with Benadia. I don't think Onana is gonna start unless he turns it around. But he was at big fault last season, and I think capped it up with the goal we conceded in the Europa League final. He'll start. I'll go with Dorgu at left back or left wing back. I'll go Ahmad at right wing back. I think when he came on off the bench, he was electric, and he's going to offer us something positive on the right hand side. Whether that's consistent or not, we'll have to wait and see. Let's see if he's able to sort of do that defensive contribution. I'm going to go Lenny Yoro as the right centre back. I'll go De Ligt right into the centre, and I liked what I saw from Luke Shaw, but I think he'll probably get injured after 3 weeks, and that's where I think someone like Martinez, who's also injury prone, could come in. But even taking a shot on heaven would be something that I'd be interested to see. But for now, I'll stick with Luke Shaw. I sort of disagree with you on the midfield balance between Casemiro and Bruno. I think I like it. I think Casemiro obviously doesn't have the legs, but he'll have better legs this season given that we're not playing extra games. I would strictly leave him for Premier League football. And then I'd have, obviously, on the left and right side, Cunha and Buemo, and then finishing up with Sesko up top and Kobbie to get some decent minutes in there too. But I think with Bruno playing as the 8, I don't think Kobbie's ready to play as a starter yet. But that's someone that I want to see being involved in the squad too. But I'd go with that as my best 11 at the moment. But definitely room for improvement and open to that changing based on form.
They're definitely missing top 4. That's all. After you
Top
said that
5
lineup.
this year. It's Champions League is top 5. We have to remember this. Like 5 gets you Champions League football. So if we can get that, that's something that
You might
can
get a
be
Conference
crazy.
League. That's
Yeah.
as much as I'd give you.
Honestly, if I compare Crystal Palace's 11 to yours, I back Palace. Like,
Yeah, well,
maybe it's just recency bias, but I don't know. That team,
their
yes,
starting
Sesko's
11
big.
is quite strong, but that's basically it with them. And if
It-
they
it
lose
is- it is
Eze
very
and Gueye, then I don't think they're going to be near it. But there's someone to watch for sure. Michael, what do you think?
Look, to be honest, I've seen it for many seasons now that you guys sign amazing players, you get a good squad, and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't seem like you guys can gel. So I personally think, look, prove me wrong. If you do make Champions League football this season, that's great for United. Not great for a Liverpool fan, but yeah, I generally don't think you guys are going to make Champions League football. I personally think it's going to be maybe a 2 to 3 year project before you guys decide, like, guys do reach top 5, top 6, because at the moment the top 6 is really tight, and it's the clubs that are up there. You got Liverpool, you got City, you got Arsenal. You potentially have,
Who else? You need 3 more. You need 2 more for me.
you got
Newcastle, Villa,
Newcastle as well. You
Chelsea.
got Villa,
I think even Chelsea and Spurs.
Chelsea,
finish-
yeah,
Chelsea,
Chelsea, Villa.
Spurs. Like, these are the clubs that you're competing with, Dan. And I don't see it happening.
So what's the issue then with us? What makes you
I
think?
personally don't
It's
think
from
it's
at
the
the core.
squad. It's from the cause, from the
It's
top.
not at the club.
And if we
Yeah.
want to compare it with the United's board to Liverpool's board, FSG is it's just fantastic the way that they work, and it flows. It has a trickle effect. And when I see United's board, it doesn't look the same at all.
I think United's problem was when they decided to give Ten Hag some more time, and then they let him bring in all his coaching staff, make all the signings that he wanted. I think that really set you guys back. I don't think Ten Hag was the right coach, but you just kept holding on to him, and you took too long before you let go. I think Almiron's going to take you guys in the right direction, but he's got a lot of building to do on he's got to build on a lot of the cracks that was left from previous managers, especially Ten Hag. So a lot of your plays, like, there's not much value you got left in your squad that you can sell. So it's like you've made these few big signings now, and I don't know where the rest of the money's going to come from, because what you've got now is probably all you're going to get.
You'll fire a
you've got-
couple lunch ladies and get some
Yeah.
more money back.
Yeah, maybe you cut
Yeah.
more ones, you could sign a few more players, but you've got no one of value that you're going to be able to sell. That's not going to be in your squad. You're not going to sell Kobe.
I think Garnacho can go for 30 or 40. I think that deal will get done.
He's probably the only one, but doesn't help when he's acting the way that he does, and he's so clear that he doesn't want to play for United. Sancho's not going to get you much. There's.
And this is the thing. What Answer's trying to say is you just bring good players and destroy them. And that's the problem. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. What happened to United bringing good kids to actually nurturing them, playing them, and building into the squad? Like, Garnacho was supposed to be, albeit you didn't bring him from youth, he's supposed to be someone you nurtures into his starting 11 and be a starter week in, week out, and he's just spit the dummy. Like, there comes a point where if you keep making bad business decisions, you're going to be hamstrung and not going to be able to do anything.
But
And this is what
at the end of the
United's
day,
at.
like, you're Manchester United, you're always going to have money, but some of these signings got to start paying off. Like, it can't just be a revolving door.
It has to be this year, though.
I think there's a lot of attitude problem at United too, and as much as a good player Bruno is, I don't think he's the right captain for you guys. I think he's a fantastic player, but I think as a captain and trying to set an example for the players that you have in the club, I don't see him being the person that is leading by example for the younger players too. Like, especially when you see him on the pitch, like obviously we don't know what he's like at training, but on the pitch with his moaning and he's complaining to the refs, stuff like
It's not a
that.
good
I don't
look,
know, maybe
yeah.
he's going to turn a leaf this season, but I think that really has a flow-on effect to the younger players, and it's a core problem that you have if you want a club that's going to move in the right direction. I think that's also something you need to consider is Bruno the captain for you? But how are you going to strip? You can't strip Bruno, who's probably your best player. It's gonna make even more problems. So it's in a really tight situation.
I can see what you're saying about obviously his complaining and refereeing, but sometimes you gotta put yourself in the shoes of a player and think, this bloke is putting out 110% effort every single week, and we can all safely say that. And he's giving it to players that are half-assed, terrible attitude. We've all played competitive sport. We know what it's like when someone is kind of not putting up to the same standard you are. That's what probably gets you more frustrated. And I understand that he has to probably keep that a bit more calm and whatnot. But when you're dealing with the pressure of playing for one of the biggest clubs in England, being the captain, and also the fans being criticizing you and everything that's going on in that aspect, it's very hard as a human to sort of keep your emotions intact, especially when like you have that. And I just don't really see anyone else that could really be the captain of the club at the moment.
You're
given
in
that
a
the
position
passion
where
is
who
there.
else can you can't. There's no one else that really stands out to say he's the captain of our club. Like, you're in that position where you've got no one to give it to. You can't strip him because it's just going to probably make more problems than anything.
Sure.
So, but I mean, it doesn't change my opinion that he's probably not the ideal captain. Like, if you have a look at someone like Jordan Henderson, who he probably wasn't Liverpool's best player, but I think he's one of the best captains that has been in the Premier League. He took us through some tough times. He took over from our best captain ever, Steven Gerrard, and then took our club to where they are now. He's a leader, and I think Bruno is a good player, but he's not a leader. And I think to get to where you need to get to, you need a leader. And I think, like, for us, Van Dijk, he's a great leader. I think he was a really good choice for that captain role when we needed someone to become captain. And yeah, I think that's a crucial part of the squad. It's like he's pretty much the next person after the coach that everyone's looking up to in that squad. And it starts from there.
I think so.
To
but
play devil's advocate, I reckon it's probably the hardest club to play for, though. And those mistakes are going to be scrutinised so much more. And coming from the history of like everything Fergie and that United team did, coming into it now, it's going to be tough for any players. Like, I think Bruno probably is the best He is a decent captain. He does moan, and yes, but like they have a squad of leaders. Like you
can't blame them. You can't blame them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think he's our best captain. Yeah, go Mike.
I agree. I totally agree. I think with recent history with United, he has been your best player, and
that's why I hate him so much.
Yeah, I hate him too.
Player.
Honestly, he just annoys me so much even watching him. But if I was a United fan, I would love him. It would be the only player that actually shows passion. He's the only one that actually bleeds Manchester United, and he would never turn away from your club. He treats your club with so much respect, and that's what a captain has to do for your club. And if you do decide, like what Ant is saying, to get a new captain, you're basically changing your whole image with your squad. I personally don't think you guys should do that. I think you should stick with him. I think you have a good coach, you have a good captain. You just need to change the things that are, the squad around it needs to be gelling a lot better. And that does take time. It takes years.
We're doing it now. We're getting rid of all the bad fluff. Like Rashford's on loan, Anthony's out the door, Garnacho and Sancho are not even training near the club. Lindelof, and I'm pretty sure he's not there anymore. Not that he was a cancer or whatnot, but he's not re-signed. You've got Christian Eriksen. I don't think he's there anymore. Like, yes, some of those players obviously are not the attitude problems, but the first three that I mentioned, probably not Anthony, but definitely Sancho, Garnacho, Rashford, they're out the door. They're gone. So that's already a core of the group that's, I think, were internally the problem at the club. And then you've got the players that probably just weren't simply up to it out the door too. So I think Amorim is showing moving.
I think you're moving in the right direction. And I mean, your performance last night, like you gave Arsenal a good crack and probably arguably should have won that game.
It was 20 shots on target.
You're moving in the right direction, as much as I hate to say it.
Yeah, it's crazy though that we're talking about, like, we still lost the game, but we're talking like as if it was a revelation. That's really how bad last season was. But I think I'll wrap up the United talk because we can go on forever. This is a Liverpool podcast, and I guess the way we'll finish this up is giving the ladder predictions for both, or for Liverpool, and then also we're going to work together, or you four are going to work together in creating Liverpool's greatest starting 11. And you're going to have to do it together as Nathan sort of fixes his camera. Brent's sort of vertically horizontal. We'll try and make this as smooth as possible. And yeah.
Is this for
We'll get started.
active players, or is this just in our history, Daniel?
We'll go from 2008 when you guys started supporting. No, I'm joking. Just the whole history of Liverpool.
We'll say from when we're born.
Yeah, from what? So 1998.
Okay.
That's perfect.
Okay.
We're all 1998. So you guys are 99s, but 1998
Yeah.
we'll go, and we'll start
Well,
with.
I think even though Pepe Reina was one of my favorite
he was
players,
good.
I think Alisson slots himself in there as a
Alisson
starting
is.
goalkeeper.
Alisson is the best keeper we've had.
You've
Yeah,
got to get,
definitely.
before we continue, so
Definitely.
Alisson's the first one. I will be the deciding vote. So if you go
Alright,
2-2,
So
I'm the decider.
centre-back-
It's
It's got to be
Alisson.
unanimous.
Okay.
centre-back's definitely Van Dijk as one.
Yeah, I agree.
Probably go Carragher.
Yeah, I mean Carragher's up there. Who else?
Kanate, Anthony.
I've seen a lot of terrible.
Yeah, but standard business.
I reckon it sounds crazy, but Matip. It actually sounds
Um,
crazy, but he was
I
crazy.
put
The
Carragher
twisting
in there.
Michael's head there. He likes Matip. I know he's a big fan
I
of him.
do like
I
Matip.
know,
but
I know.
I wouldn't put him in an all-time squad.
I'm happy to go with Carragher. Hard put Carragher.
Yeah, we'll
in
go
there.
with Carragher. We'll go.
Carragher, yeah.
All right, so Carragher,
Carragher.
Virgil, and Alisson, which is
I think this is the
Best of-
fullbacks that they're going to be. The fullbacks are going to be a tough one.
We'll start with left
I
back.
want. Look. Trent has to be mentioned.
We'll go left back first. We'll keep right back for later. Makes it
Okay,
more fun.
okay.
To wrap up the back four. Go left back first.
Robert.
Well, Robbo, Reece.
Yeah.
Who else is there?
Jose Enrique.
Alberto
Honestly,
Moreno.
I think Robertson, like, especially with what he's done, he's definitely up there for me with the amount of goal contributions that he's had in his career at Liverpool. I think he's past his time now, but I think in his day he was right up there.
Just to touch on Robbo, I think he gets a bit of stick unfairly sometimes, a bit of a scapegoat. I think last season he wasn't that good and he done a few errors, but he's not as bad as everyone thinks.
No, I agree, Nate, 100%.
I reckon he cops it a lot more than he should. Like, he does some
Yeah.
silly things, don't get me wrong, but you can't deny he's the type of player probably United are crying out for the last 10 years. Someone that up and down gives a shit. Like, when he was bantering Messi, that was the best. Like, you need players like that. You
So
need
two
it.
votes. 2 votes for Robbo.
Yeah, I go Robbo.
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, I'll go Robbo.
Robbo. Right back.
I'm-
Can we take away? Yeah, let's take away the because
Connor Bradley.
yeah.
Connor Bradley.
As much as
Endo
he's done
from
it
the
for me,
70th minute onwards.
I still put Trent there.
So we'll go with Trent unanimously, I suppose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't.
Yeah.
You can't
He was
not, mate.
unreal.
Yeah, he revolutionized his position, so you can't not mention him.
We'll go 4-3-3 because I want to just stick to Liverpool's formation. I was going to do 4-4-2. We'll add an extra striker just to make it
yeah.
on the
This
bench
is-
as
Yeah.
to make it interesting. But
Yeah.
we'll go 4-3-3, and we'll start with just a midfielder. I guess you guys can. We'll keep it not position
You can
specific.
just
we'll
put
just go
Gerrard in
midfield.
there straight away.
Steven
Gerrard
Gerrard,
straight
Steven
straight
Gerrard's
away.
in there, number
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, Stevie G's in there. All right.
There's a few
Look,
good shouts.
Coutinho definitely is a
Mascherano.
shout.
Who?
Coutinho.
I don't know. I think the midfield's too tough. I don't
Yeah,
know
it
if
is.
he gets-
We've had some
hard
really
how
good
you judge a
midfielders.
midfield.
You could put Coutinho on the left.
Yeah,
You got
but
a lot of left wingers.
I mean, if I've got Mane, I think he clears
Yeah.
the team. I can't lie.
I don't know who else goes in the midfield. Do you put
Look,
like,
Xabi Alonso.
Xabi Alonso, yeah.
He was class.
I think Alonso
Alonso
goes in.
would go in, yeah. We need another centre mid.
Can't say Fabinho, can we?
Have we finished the Alonso? So we've locked in
Fabinho
Alonso.
and he's-
Yeah,
I think Alonso's.
So Alonso we've locked in
I'll
with Gerrard.
go with Alonso, yeah, with Gerrard, yeah.
Okay. Yep. So one more.
we just go like I mean,
Henderson
Bit
should
of a
be
tough one.
mentioned.
I think we have to go. We just go two in the midfield because I've got the forward line's going to be the forward line's tough.
Alright,
We're gonna have to
All right,
go
we'll
like
go
a
4-4-2.
Alright.
We'll
We're
start.
gonna
We'll
go
go, so left mid. We'll go left midfield. You can make a left wing.
4-2-4.
We're gonna have to go 4-2-4.
Okay. 4-2-4.
We'll go the Liverpool way, 4-2-4. So go the left wing.
Mane.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard to go past Mane.
Yeah, totally.
Brent,
What a player.
any
mate.
objections?
He's
Agree.
unreal.
I'll agree.
All right, Mane's there.
I think
Right wing.
for me, my front two. I mean, and it's very stiff.
Well,
to
we're not
miss
there
this.
yet, mate. You're going to slow down a bit. So you want to just skip right wing and move on to the strikers?
Right
because I
wing,
think
right
you're-
we
wing,
all know
goes
who right
without
wing is.
saying.
Yeah, we all
wing
know
is-
right.
The
Is-
go.
okay, let's
Yeah.
just.
Right
Is he
winger
the
in
greatest? The greatest Liverpool player of all time? Are we going to say that?
He's
You
winning the
guys?
Ballon d'Or, Daniel.
I would say he's the greatest right winger in the Premier League ever.
Okay,
He
but
is,
for
for sure.
Liverpool. Is he your? Is he? It's him and Gerrard obviously at the two. Who takes the top?
Would still go
Have to say-
Gerrard. I mean, that's probably a bit of nostalgia bias in there, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
just coming
it's-
up as a kid watching Gerrard, it was unreal.
I
It's
agree with
different.
Brent.
It's different because he came from the youth and he built up and he was
Yeah.
everything. And the club was
Yeah,
shite
that's
and he
why
was still
it's a
there.
bit easier just to say that Salah's the best right winger in the Premier League history. Then
I
after
really
that.
feel that if Gerrard was just in one of the teams that we had the last few years, he would have been crazy. He just never had
Yeah.
that. Some of the squads
Well,
that I've
that's it.
seen
You
that
look
he
at the
played with, it
players
was
that-
shocking.
You look at the players that were around Gerrard, and we were in the pit, and it was
Yeah.
just him.
Charlie Adam, Jay Spearing. Come on, man.
Can you bring those players back?
So we got Salah. We got Salah on the right wing. My front two, I would say, and
Pick
it's
one there. Pick the first one.
no, look, well, it's going to be stiff because Bobby misses out on mine. Mine is Suarez and Torres.
Suarez, Bobby for me.
Interesting. Mm.
I think
Suarez is
Suarez
definitely-
is
Suarez
absolute-
Suarez
Suarez is
an absolute
definitely-
lock. I think
Suarez
Yeah,
is a lock.
I think it's
So we'll lock in Suarez as the one striker, and then you guys can argue about.
Look, me
The-
personally,
Okay.
I
Bobby,
love Bobby.
Bobby is stiff for Bobby to miss, but I think me growing up watching Gerrard and Torres was a crazy player. Well,
I do back that, but Torres made 10-year-old me cry, and I will never forgive him for that when he went to Chelsea.
Okay, and we
Yeah,
take
look,
that Chelsea away. Are we going 2-2 or we're taking Bobby in there?
I would go Bobby personally.
I'm happy to put Bobby. We can put Torres on the bench.
Well, if it helps Anth, I would have chose Torres over Bobby. But it's not me involved. I didn't get to my decision. So Bobby gets the last spot.
Watch Bobby Firmino goals and assists. It is truly a joy to watch.
He was such a selfless player, and Mane and Salah don't do what they do without Bobby doing what he does. So
Bobby didn't
mean,
even
it-
see the goal of 10 of them, and 15 of them. He wasn't even
Yeah, he wasn't looking at him.
Fuck. He just put it in.
he was a fantastic player.
Yeah.
He had so much class about him.
Look,
so-
for the bench, we haven't mentioned him, and I think he definitely does need to be mentioned in it.
So an
Doing a
honourable
bench.
mention.
Honourable mentions.
Honourable mention.
We'll give a
Definitely.
couple. Got some time.
Definitely Diego Jota. He definitely
Yes.
needs to mention for our forward line. He yeah, it was very tough to hear the news. I got the message on my phone and honestly was just shocked. I was at a
Thanks for
kebab
bringing
shop.
that up. But
Yeah.
I didn't want to put a bad start to the pod,
well-
but it's great that we've got to mention this.
Yeah, I feel like we do need to mention it if it's towards the end. May he rest his peace. Him and his brother as well. It was just terrible to hear. But
Yeah,
like,
Obviously,
it did
what a
actually-
player, but he looked like a fantastic guy. Just all the love that's come out. He just looked like such a joy to be around. So
yeah,
It's not going to be the same when FC 26 comes out and they do the release and Jota's there going around showing everyone what their player ratings are. That was always my
that was
favorite.
me
part
too. It was
of when
amazing.
FIFA or EAFC comes out. Jota goes around getting everyone to guess their stats and stuff. There was always good fun. Everyone always had a good laugh, and he brought a lot of joy to the club. So it is really, really horrible and sad that someone like that passed at such a young age and such a tragedy too. But I think that's life. You never know what's around the corner. You just got to really make the most of it.
Yeah, it's crazy that things like that can happen. Like you don't ever expect that to happen,
Mhm.
and
And
when
I-
it does, it's just sad. Like
And I really think that's going to be a huge motivation for the team. I think that really is going to bring the team close together. And yeah, it's going to be hard, but I think that's going to be everything they do this season is going to be for Jota. So that really, I think, especially the existing players that were there and that were mates with him, they were a pretty tight bunch. think they're going to want to do everything they can to push through, and especially like when you're down, when you're drawing in the 90th minute and you need that late goal. That's going to be that extra gear that kicks in when we need that goal. They're going to be doing it for him.
Sure. I love the special touch, and just it's crazy how world works and how things work in fate. And I give it to God for this. But when Frimpong scored in that 20th minute in the Community Shield was quite simply just amazing as well. And it was just such a good touch to obviously that was the first game sort of competitively for Liverpool without, unfortunately, Diego Jota, and just to see, even as a neutral, Frimpong get the goal there in what was an amazing goal and probably a bit lucky, but that's how it was meant to be, because there was meant to be a goal in the 20th minute that day. And yeah, just so sad. Like, obviously Bruno's a United captain and a Portuguese national teammate was very sad to hear the news as well. So this obviously affects Liverpool as well, but it also hits deep on the football world and Portugal as well. And
I think everyone was touched by it. Like, you saw players in the NRL giving tributes, players in the AFL giving tributes, like sports across the world. It sort of impacted everyone, and then you see still there's over the weekend everyone honouring him before the game and everything like that. It's really good to see, and sort of did unionise everyone.
Yeah, it's definitely a reminder that life is short, and you know, when your time is up, no matter who you are. And that's, I think, the scary part, because, you know, when you're someone you idolize or someone that you think is got access to money and everything, when your time is up, it can't save you. And that's probably what's the most touching or the hardest part to get around. But yeah, it's a difficult one.
For sure. Well, may he rest in peace, and yeah, hopefully for your sake that gives you guys that motivation, and that his family obviously can go through that tough time, and football hopefully doesn't forget him either, and he'll always be remembered for being a good person, as you all mentioned, and for me seeing him the outside looking in, an unbelievable player to a quality finisher as well, and someone that really helped and contributed to Liverpool's success. But yeah, on a sad note, but probably the best way to end it, he gets an honourable mention into this starting 11 for sure. So great pick up, Michael, and a great touch to end the pod. And thank you guys for joining in once again. I know, especially Anthony, he's got a tight schedule. He took up an extra 30 minutes of his wonderful time to get on and talk all things Liverpool. And Brent, that's come and taken this podcast from the nation's capital, albeit with botched internet, as mentioned at the start, came in as well. And then to Nathan and Michael too, who Nathan, again, gets on another pod 3 weeks in a row. That's unbelievable. He might be a host soon as well, the way he's going. But yeah, thanks guys for jumping on. I would love to say good luck for the season, but you know that's not going to come from the heart. But again, for your sake, the Prem's back, which is good. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see how this season goes. It's exciting, and yeah, another season.
Thanks for having us, Dan.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Dan.
Nice. All right, that will conclude it, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah.
So that's a wrap for this week's episode of the Huddle Within podcast. I appreciate you for tuning in and being part of this community where we go beyond the game and into what really matters. If this episode resonated with you, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who sees sports just the way that we do. And hey, I'd love to hear from you. Connect with me on my social medias, which will be linked below. Send in your thoughts and even be part of a future episode. Until next time, keep that passion alive, stay in the huddle, and remember, it's always deeper than the game. Cheers.
Phone storage, and then was trying to desperately delete videos off my phone.
Oh my days! Hopefully, I can get you in.
And then my camera came back, and I was like the wrong way round, and it was fuck.
Bro, I was telling you to freaking change your angle, but
it's
gonna be a tough edit.
I was trying to change it. It wouldn't work. No, it wouldn't. It only just swapped. It was stuck portrait. It was stuck portrait, and I was landscape.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, I know. Oh, you're gonna make me put some hard work in the lab there, but yeah.